Fourth quarter just about to start here. Phil Scrub, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Kelly Olynyk, Melvin Ejim, and Lou Dort. So no Shea, no RJ Barrett.
Gotta wonder if maybe that's a performance thing, Cage. Because no offense to Shea, the Canadians' easily best player. He's not played well.
Yeah. And that's not a good first offensive possession from Team Canada either. Shot clock violation.
Well, other than myself giving myself my own technical difficulties, I'm now back to watching the game now. Canada again. It's just Cage too close for me. Like I
It
can hear
is.
all the arguments. I can hear all the arguments of, rough game, rough and tumble team, this, that, and the other. Completely understand, completely get it. But at the end of the day, you can't. This game can't be this close. Like it's one of those. Not even trying to use logic to it. It's just this game cannot be this close right now. Canada should need to be pulling away right now. Because for me, this does not feel like a good omen, for going up against Spain in basically a must-win game, but in relatively a must-win game, or at least lose close game if they want to make it out. And then thinking about who they will play between Germany and Slovenia, who play in 2 days time on Sunday, which we will be live streaming. Canada versus Spain, 9:30 a.m. Sunday, September 3rd. I should be okay to stream that one. I'm gonna have to figure out now because I might be busy later that day, but we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Slovenia and Germany play at 7:10 that Sunday, so we'll know when the Canadian game starts basically what that landscape looks like for the next round. As well as Latvia versus Brazil will be at 5:45 Sunday morning. That's some other big games. Italy versus Puerto Rico at 4 a.m. and then Dominican Republic against Serbia at 8 a.m. So those are some big games. So some big ties there here in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kate, something I haven't talked about here on the pod just yet, but I think I have said it on my own Little Spencer Talks episodes before. There are 4 factors when you break down basketball that dictate a final score. It's shooting, free throws, rebounding, and turnovers. If you lose more than 2 of those 4 things, you'll most likely lose the game. If you don't shoot well, if you don't shoot free throws well, if you don't rebound well, you turn the ball over too much. Canada is getting killed in the offensive glass. I just saw this grab the graphic, Cage. I think you saw it too. 13-7 in favor of Brazil in the offensive glass. That's not good enough by the Canadians, as another turnover gives Brazil a chance here on going the fast break. They luckily fend it off, Cage, but still not good by the Canadians in the offensive end.
I don't think you're going to like what you see next.
Oh, why do I not like the sound of that, Cajun? Oh, of course. Yeah, and that's that was one weird looking 3, Cage. I thought he missed for a second because of how high it bounced off the rim. But now the Canadians only up by 1.
And now Brazil with a chance to take the lead.
Canada a little too trigger happy from behind the point or behind the 3-point line, Cage. A little trigger happy for me.
Yep.
I made the Celtics comparison early, Cage, and you disagreed with me. I'm being shown right here in this game.
Yep.
And no, I'm not happy about it. Make sure I say I am not happy about that.
And this brings up an area of concern because you just mentioned Canada has gotten killed on the offensive glass. Against certain teams that have good bigs, this is going to be an area of concern that they're going to have to figure out quick. As now Brazil has retaken the lead with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Gage, like this is worrying for the Canadian. Oh my goodness. And that's the difference between Canada and Brazil. Is Shea Alexander right there through the contact and one. How did he make that shot, Cajun? My goodness.
Because it's SGA.
Because he's a first team All NBA. That's why. That's why.
Would you consider him a superstar though?
First point for Canada in over 5 minutes of game time, Cajun.
Man,
like
not
not good
good.
enough. Not good enough by the Canadians. And again, I know I haven't watched the whole tournament, so I have no right to talk about how the Canadians are playing right now. But I can only talk about what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing is not good enough. 55 points after 35 minutes basically of game time. Not good enough. Not good enough. Yeah, the defense has been there because it needs to be there, Cage. If the Canadians are playing good defense, they get blown out right now. The game be over. So we can say they're playing good defense, but that's the caveat of they needed to play good defense so they'd be done. And again, the Canadians are just settling for threes. They're settling, Cage. And I don't know why they're settling. That's worrying going up against Spain next.
Even with Spain losing against Latvia. Because Spain's going to come out guns blazing after what just happened.
Yeah, but unless you make them, it's going to look like a bad shot for me on the stat sheet. When the Canadians, especially how bad the Canadians have shot from three in this game alone.
And Shea just got stripped, and Powell with his fourth foul. 5:22 left in the fourth. A 2-point game. And this is with Bruno Caboclo on the bench too. As now he just checks in.
Talk about bad to worse, Cage. Talk about bad to worse here for the Canadians.
And this is a very small lineup for Team Canada too.
And Brazil ties it up again. Caboclo with 15 now. I believe leading the way for the Brazilians. Like, this is worrying, Cage. Worrying. Very worrying.
It is.
Because we kept talking about how other teams throughout this tournament have pulled away, or even just today, how the Canadians have pulled away normally. Today hasn't been that. And Dort got 16.
That's a big shot from Lou Dort.
Lou Dort's been the best Canadian. And I love Lou Dort. I am a defender of Lou Dort. I think he should be starting for Canada. And not just because he has 16 in this game. I like Lou Dort's game. His defense is spectacular. And offensively tonight, he's been arguably the best Canadian. So how can you even argue with that? And now I think Powell's out. I think Powell
He
just
did
got out
get
of the
hit.
game.
He did just get hit with a mean elbow though.
But I think they called the foul on him. So that might be his night.
Oh, it wasn't an elbow. His head, head-to-head contact. And it makes you wonder. And I might be crazy for suggesting this, but maybe have Zach Edey in the lineup just for size purposes to keep him honest for like a minute or two.
Well, I haven't even seen Edie. I haven't seen Edie yet. I know he's been playing sporadically because he is still playing in college, going into his junior season, I believe, with Purdue coming up in mere months, might I add. And as a college fan, we will be talking about Zach Edey quite a bit and those Purdue Boilermakers because they're going to be a good team, I think, Purdue. With just Zach Edey alone, let alone the guys they're bringing in this year in the Big Ten. And the Big Ten's a good conference. Not an easy conference, might I add.
I don't think we were expecting this a tie game with 3:34 left, and I think Gilgeous-Alexander got away with a foul right there.
I mean, Cage, with 3:30 left in the fourth quarter, this has not been the performance we hoped for or expected out of the Canadians, which is why we're being so harsh on them. If we expected this game to be close, then there wouldn't be this conversation. But it's closer than you and I wanted it to be and expected it to be because they handled Latvia, they handled France. They handled Spain in the pre-tournament games. Yes, I know pre-tournament games don't mean anything, but still, you want to win them. You want to win the pre-tournament games. Let's be honest. You want to win them.
Yeah.
And I believe they just called a tie-up.
I think they called a foul.
Oh, they did.
I thought they called
his fourth.
I thought they called a tie-up, but
Oh, I know Shea mouthed the words of that was a foul, as Alexander Walker, it looks like, just made a J. Thank goodness. Okay, putting Canada back up as
that was SGA in the post.
It was SGA in the post. I couldn't tell. I saw Alexander. I couldn't tell if it was Shea or if it was Nikhil.
I think Nikhil's on the bench right now.
I honestly thought he was always on the bench, but I saw Alexander and I was like, really? Is Alexander Walker? And I got kind of confused with myself, but then realized, oh well, I'm just a dunce, Gage. It's okay. These eyes, sometimes.
Sounds like you got worse eyes than me, and that's saying something.
No, come on now. Your glasses are like Coke cans. Your glasses are like Coke glass. Come on now. Don't try that.
I thought it was the case where you just said Alexander Walker.
Well, I saw Alexander and I said Walker, okay? Sue me. But
come on, man. The headband should have given him away.
I didn't see the headband. I just saw Alexander in the back of the jersey. I had a 50-50 shot. I didn't think it was Shea because I would have saw the headband.
Yep. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna look at, and actually here you go for today. Shea's got 23 points, which is above his averages at only 22 points per game in the tourney. But
I think the telling stat is the assist.
Yeah, just one. Just one. That is not good. And if Google's not lying to me, which doesn't look like it's gonna, because I am at the live of Sportsnet, but Google's ahead of me. And I don't know if you and I are at the same point, Cage, and I just hit under the 3-minute mark.
I'm at that right now, 2:55.
Just about, yep. So I might be a couple seconds above you, but we're about the same time. And I'm waiting to see when I find out what Google just told me, Cage. It makes me very sad. And I think there it must be. And there it is. Brazil again ties it. Caboclo again. 17 on the night for Bruno, former Toronto Raptor.
You sure you sure you don't think Toronto could use this?
I think Canada could use this, Cage. And that's why I think Canada could use this. Where's Bruno's Canadian jersey?
Oh man.
Can we make trades in the FIBA World Cup, Cage? Can we do that? Can we make trades? And
And Dort
Caboclo,
just
go ahead.
fouled Caboclo.
He's holding his face like he got hit in the head. Oh, he definitely did catch down there in the follow through. But not good, Cajun. Talk about
Not
Mayday. Like, start hitting the red buttons, Cage. We're at Mayday. We have hit that point here in the game. That this is Mayday, we're going down. And now they're reviewing it. Cajun, this could get bad for Canada. This is a very, very big call for the Canadians right now. Because again, if Canada loses this game, which at now this point is honestly maybe more likely, it's a winner take all in the next games against Spain, which is not where they want to be. You do not want to be in a winner takes all against Spain with Latvia and Brazil waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like this is getting to like beyond worst case scenario territory for me, Cage. Like this is getting bad.
It really is.
And now the referees are going to come out here and give their call. And I think they're just going to call it a foul, it looks like to me. So it looks like nothing else is going to come of it, which is very good for the Canadians.
Because it would have been two shots in the ball.
I believe so. And that ball would have been the most important possession we've seen. And again, obviously possessions get more and more important as the game goes on, but that would probably be arguably the most important possession of the game. Like, definitely to that point, at least, as Caboclo makes his first.
And Brazil now up by 2:08 to go in the fourth quarter. 18 for Mr. 2 years away from being 2 years away. And a much needed defensive rebound there from Team Canada. And they have not been good on the boards.
No, they've been getting killed on the glass, which is something you can't afford against this Brazil team, obviously, as we've shown here today. And another turnover by Canada. Oh, lucky off of a Brazilian there at the end, but with 6 seconds left in the shot clock, Cage, and this is worrying. They got to get something off quick. How do you get the offensive rebound there, Cage, and not cash it in? Canada misses the first, gets the offensive, and they're gonna review it here for the turnover against Canada. They're saying possession going the other way. Jordy Fernandez is asking for a review, and they're gonna give it to him.
And honestly, I agree. It looked like it went off Brazil last.
I also think it went off Brazil last. What we're gonna see here is Olynyk drives to the paint, misses, gets his own rebound, up again, misses. Went off his head. That went off the Brazilian's head. That's got to be off Brazil. We'll see if they can take it to the monitor. They're not taking it to the monitor yet. They're talking about it. So we'll see if a referee had a better look at it. Which, again, if they don't go to the review table and they're only talking about it, that might be not good for the Canadians.
It looks like it says it's a challenge. But my biggest worry is that ball did not hit. It looked like that ball did not hit the rim.
But I think, in fairness, Cage, lucky to Canada, I don't think they're talking about that. I think you're talking about if it went off a Brazilian or not. I think you might be right though. Brazil might have a chance to re-challenge it if they want to talk about that, but I don't think you're going to get that. Oh, and they are going to challenge it. They are going to look at it. So they are going to look at if that ball went off of Brazil or not, which it looked like it did from the replay we saw. We'll see it here again. Yeah, that's got to be off Brazil there. I don't think Shea even touched it there. So we're going to see here from a better angle of his. Oh, yeah, and it went right off his head. Yeah. See, and that's again where you look at it and go, I don't know really where he must have saw it go off of a Canadian. Like, is he thinking Shea touched it on its way out? Because that ball obviously went off his head.
Must have been.
Because the first angle shows Shea's nowhere near it, and the second look shows you the guy from behind is nowhere near it. It went basically off the guy who caught it, rebounded it, went off his head, and lost possession of it out of bounds. So I'm not really sure the referees saw that as a possession to the Brazilians. But regardless, this should get overturned and give possession to Canada, which is a big possession for Canada as they're down by 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, possessions only get bigger as the game goes on. And this possession is mighty important for the Canadians. And I swear to all that is holy, Cajun Theory with Andy Castleum, if I see the Canadians settle for a 3-pointer off of this new possession, I'm going to be livid. And it will be possession to the Canadians. So the Canadians will be getting back possession of the ball, which is massive for Canada. And now the Brazilian coach talking to the referee. I'm not sure exactly what. They just reviewed it, big dog.
And I think I know why they were reviewing it. Like, didn't the shot clock expire?
But he had possession of it because he would have caught it. So I guess that's again the argument.
Honestly, but I see a point from the Brazil coach. He didn't really have full possession of the ball.
But anyway, so Canadian possession, 14 seconds, back for Olynyk, bad shot, rebounded though by the Canadians, still haven't been able to get it up. Dort gets taken out. There's going to be a foul against Brazil. Oh my good, Cajun, I almost want to throw my headset because I've switched microphones. I usually use my Yeti. I switched to a headset because I thought we were going to be doing this live. Again, we're not. We will be doing this live next time because I will have YouTube all up and running. So there will be no argument here that, we'll be going live on Sunday.
I really like Lou Dort's play. On a positive, like, I know we've been talking about a lot of negatives, but Lou Dort has really stepped it up.
And again, Cage, as you're right, and I love that you are right, but the reality is he's needed to.
And that's the issue.
And that's the crux of the issue, Cajun. Is I love Lou Dort. I will be a Lou Dort truther is the word I'm going to use. A word I hate using because I feel like, again, it's one of those words I feel like is overused at points. But I love Lou Dort. His defense is exceptional. His offensive game is underrated, in my opinion, as he misses the first free throw. But he needs to make number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is very important. Very important.
And he does.
Get off the beat of sweat, Cage, and we got 1:30 left here in the fourth quarter.
Bro, I'm brown. I already be so.
Both teams have been good from the free throw line, which has taken that out of the factor of the 4 factors that affect the basketball game at its construct without getting into the analytics of it. Oh, and Brazil cash it in there. Santos only with 6 points. That's his 6th point of the night. Puts Brazil back up by 2. Shea, step back for 3. No good. It did get the rebound, though. Shea now back up the top of the key.
But why are you taking that shot?
Only God knows. Nice fake by Lou. Lou's got to put it up, though. Got to put it up. Lou Dort for 3 at the end of the shot clock. Oh, my goodness. Is it going to count? No, they're calling it Cajun. They're calling it a shot clock violation. And they're going to talk about it? Oh, Cage, this is heartbreaking if this didn't go off. Oh, it's close. Cage, did you see it?
I think the ball might have been in his hands.
This is so devastating if this ball did not get out of Lou Dort's hand. Oh my god.
It did
I don't
not.
think it did not. The Canadians waste another possession in clutch time. I'm about to be Skip Bayless, Cage. I'm about to be Skip Bayless in a minute here. And they're going to call it shot clock V. Canada now has to get a stop and basically have one more possession to win the game or tie it. They need to stop. If Brazil gets basically any points on this possession, the game is over. The only thing that could save Canada is a foul, and they missed the first. They missed one of the two free throws.
Or a turnover.
Turnovers the best case scenario for the Canadians. But with any point score, the only way they can keep this game close or keep this game winnable is if they foul and they miss one free throw. Which again, you don't want the foul here. This is like the last thing you want to do is foul at this point in the game. Brazil though, free walk, and that's probably the game. As Brazil get the layup, and it's the guy who just scored for his 5th and 6th point. That's his 7th and 8th point as Canada take their timeout. No help there on the drive, and that is just too easy from the Canadians in clutch time. That is just too easy, Cajun.
Way too easy. And there's still plenty of time. 26 seconds.
Cajun, I want some of that copium you're drinking right now. I want some. I want some so bad, but I just that miss by Dort or that make by Dort that didn't count. You kind of felt like that was the turning point, Cage.
Yeah.
That you feel like that's the turning point because that's a make that puts Canada up by 1, but instead they're down now by 4. That's a 3-point swing in and of itself, or technically a 5-point swing, but 3 in the context of, you know, the differential of up by 1 instead of down by 2.
But you got to give
Or
Brazil
down by
credit.
4.
I don't.
Oh no, of course not. Like, full respect to the Brazilians here. They have done exactly what you would have thought they needed to do to beat the Canadians. Keep the game low scoring. Yeah, and it's Yango Santos, 8 points, 10 assists for the small point guard, the agile point guard, who's gotten 2 clutch baskets at the end of this game. They have advanced the ball. Dillion Brooks will rebound or put it in, and it is Dylan Brooks, but as Cajun likes to call him Dillion, and we might as well all call him Dillion Brooks. So Dylan Brooks now. For Cajun. Oh, lucky for the Canadians. Olynyk ball down low. Can Dort pass it out? Nope. And that
And turn.
will be the game, Cajun. That will be the game. And go ahead. You get first crack.
It isn't just. It's not the defense that's frustrating. It's a lack of offense. It's a lack of offense and the execution needed on offense. Because you're basically seeing a lot of one-on-one play. Like the last 2 possessions in the clutch went to Kelly Olynyk against three guys. That can't happen.
Cajun, to think that this was the highest scoring team coming into this game, they had the highest point differential of any team coming into this game. The Americans right now, after 4 games played, difference of their differential is 115. The Canadians is 111 after only 3 games. The Americans have 1 extra game played at this point in time before this game ends, and the Canadians still only have 4 points less than them in differential. Now, obviously, they're down as Jesus. Dillon Brooks decided, okay, let's go attack the rack for a second. Not sure what that's all about, but anyway.
I was like, where was this earlier?
Yeah, where was this, Cage? Where was this like 30 seconds ago when the game was still in reach, sort of? Oh, actually, they called a foul before he dunked it, so he gets free throws. So he makes number one. So now this, Cage, might be good for Canada. Because if they can miss this shot, get the rebound, or get a steal off of it. This is Dillon Brooks' first points, by the way. And that's his second point of the game. So now Canada have to get a steal. 10.5 left, down by 4. I think Brazil just took a timeout, and they did, which is smart. But Canada still gotta get a steal, Cage. Gotta get a steal.
Yeah.
But it looks like head-to-head or points for are what deciding these pools. At least in the L pool, with the Spain versus Latvia being tied for first because of their both having 7 points. Latvia right now is first. They have more points for, less differential, but they have the head-to-head. So I assume it's head-to-head. And you see right there, Cage, fourth quarter points. Canada 33% from 2, 0% from 3 after 5 shots. Brazil 71% from 2, 33% from 3. Or I think actually I had lots a lot. They only made 1 3. I think it was like 17%. But regardless, just not good enough offensively, which to think that the team with the most points for and the highest differential was not going to be able to score more than 62 points at this point in time is flabbergasting to myself.
It is absolutely flabbergasting, and I think the biggest stat that's the biggest factor in this case is free throws. 8 of 9 from the free throw line for Brazil. Canada just 4 of 5. Brazil's attacking the basket. Canada's not. Canada's settling, and that's the difference in this game.
God, don't you and I sound like the absolute oldest people on earth talking about shot selection at this point in time, but that's what it is. And an easy basket for Brazil will just about ice it. I know we keep talking about how iced this game is. We'll see if Canada can get anything done here, as they now are attacking the rack. Well, that's great, guys. And they hit the 3 from RJ Barrett with 0.9 left on the clock. So the Canadians not dead yet, but they're basically buried, Cajun. They're basically buried.
Yep.
And Barrett, and I'm not gonna. I love RJ Barrett too. I think the world of RJ Barrett. I think he's underrated, even for the Knicks. He had a great playoff run with the Knicks this year. We talked about that a couple episodes ago, Cage. But
Yep.
where has he been tonight? Like, I don't think I've seen RJ Barrett on my screen much today. And I watched the whole game, even between me posting these quarterly and all that. I don't think I've seen him. Have you? Have you seen RJ Barrett other than mentioning when he was off?
Not really.
Like a guy who can't go invisible went invisible, right? Like that kind of can't happen. Like that kind of can't happen.
And
And
I
now
think
Brazil's just got to get it in, and the game's over. They just got to get a ball in. So you expect they're going to win this game, which again will mean everyone in Group L is 3-1, just like everyone in Group I. So we're going to have to see here how this all shakes out. Because
it's
now seeding
basically
in Group L is going to be very interesting, with all these teams being at 3-1, just like Group I being all at 3-1, with the head-to-heads and everything.
aren't they playing the winner of Germany and Slovenia though?
They are. They are playing the winner of that game, which happens also on Sunday. Something just happened. I have to go back and check here. What exactly just happened on my television screen? It was a foul against. I assume against Canada.
Yep. The only question is, did the foul happen in time?
Well, the Brazilians coaches were acting like the game they thought the game was still going. I guess we're gonna see here as they review it here as an official replay. And it looks like there was still time on the clock, Cage. Very little, but there still looks like there was time on the clock.
And now we got to talk about Canada and Spain, because that's basically a winner go home situation. Unless something crazy happens and Bruno misses 2 free throws and a full court heave happens.
Well, Cajun, for a team that has averaged 108 points in their 3 games, getting over 100 in 2 of their 3 games, 128 against Lebanon, 101 against Latvia, 95 against France. Again, that's a 108 average per game. They got 65 against Brazil. That matches what they beat France by, which was 95-65.
Mm-hmm.
So, uncharacteristically bad offensively for the Canadians today.
And you know what? I know you did
Go ahead.
mention RJ Barrett going invisible, but this is more so on the offensive execution of Team Canada, and more importantly on Shea, because there was too much one-on-one play, trying to do too much. And what we said earlier, he scoring wise, it didn't look like it, but 1 assist, the ball just sticking. And sure, they missed some threes off of driving kick opportunities. But there was too much one-on-one play.
And that is officially over. Brazil upsets Canada and now makes it a winner take all day on Sunday.
I will say this. As bad as this loss was, and I hate that this had to happen, and I hate that a loss like this had to happen, but this might be a blessing in disguise for Team Canada. Because you're off your high horse now. You just got humbled. And I think as and I think a loss like this gets them back to the drawing board, and like have them figure out what they did in those past 3 group games. And mind you, it's going to be, Canada Spain's going to be physical too, because it's a winner go home situation. But something like this needed to happen for Canada to something like this needed to happen. Like Canada needed to be kicked in the teeth like this for them to for them to go to what their identity is about. They did not play according to their identity, and yeah, they, something like they gotta figure. Like I expect them to come in with a renewed sense of vigor and confidence heading into this now must-win game against Spain. Now, is it ideal that they're in this situation right now? No. but it gets them on high. It gets them on high alert, and you would hope efforts like this, especially on the offensive end on the floor, because that was the most glaring thing. Even though Brazil did shoot well in that fourth quarter, the fact that Canada was playing too much one-on-one basketball.
Well, Kajan, I've got the stats pulled up here. Is there anything you want to talk about specifically? Because I got some numbers here for you. I got some numbers.
43-37 on the glass.
In favor of Brazil. 14-13 offensive rebounds in favor of Brazil. So the offensive rebounds did slightly go back into Canada's favor. But I do want to mention, for Brazil, Bruno Caboclo, 19 points, 13 boards, 3 blocks, 2 steals, in only basically 29 minutes of play. Their next leading scorer was Guy Santos, who had 10. And then I want to remember Yaga Santos, who had 10 assists and 8 points, but had 2 clutch baskets.
Yep. And I think this is a big one. Two big ones. Points in the paint and assists. Points in the paint. 38-22 for Team Brazil. Assists 17-10 for Brazil. If you're gonna have 10 assists, that ain't gonna cut it. As a team, if you're gonna have 10 assists as a team for the entire game, that's not gonna cut it.
And when your leading assister is Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 3. It's not Shea, it's not Dort, it's not Dillon Brooks, it's not RJ Barrett. It's no offense to Alexander Walker, but he should not be your leading assister. That should not be the way that works.
8 of 30 from downtown too.
And let's quickly go through the shooting numbers. So Canada, from the floor, shot 33% from the field. Brazil, 40%. From 3 alone, Canada had 33 of their 63 shots from 3. They made 13 at a 39% clip. Brazil shot 36% or 36 out of their 63 shots from 3. So they actually shot more than the Canadians. Or actually,
no, I think
that's from 2.
That was from 2.
So I am messing this up. So I'll quickly go to 3 numbers. So that was 33 shots from 2. 30 shots from 3 out of 63 for Canada. They had 27% clip from 3, 8 for 30. Brazil, 5 for 27 at 19%. But that 2 number of 39% from 2 for Canada compared to 56% for Brazil. They just shot better from inside the key. Inside the 3-point line, pardon me. Inside the 3-point line, they dominated Canada. Made the 3 obsolete, and Canada didn't outshoot them from 3 enough to make it matter. And now, Cage, I'm not going to place it on any individual player because this was a team loss. Always team loss, in my opinion. I will stand by that. But you got to look at individual performances. RJ Barrett talked about how he thought he was invisible. Played 28 minutes. Was the second longest, second highest amount of minutes out of any Canadian below Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. 28 minutes and 34 seconds. 1 for 8 from the floor. 0 for 4 from 3. Or 0 for 4 from the field or from 2. 1 for 4 from 3. 1 free throw made out of 2. Had 4 rebounds and 1 assist. Like, RJ Barrett can't go 1 for 8 from the floor. Making no shots inside the 3-point line. Like, that can't happen. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 1 for 9. He missed only shot. He missed only shot from inside the 3-point line. He went 1 for 8 from 3.
And a lot of those looks were good looks.
But they got to fall.
But they also have to fall. And he's shot well from behind the 3-point line aside from this performance.
And then you look at Shea, who shot 44% from the field, shot 29% from 3 for 2 for 7 from that 3-point line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in the end.
But the 2 assists. It's the 2 assists.
And the 29% from 3. Like, even if he had only had 2 assists but shot, made 4 for, if he was 4 for 7, that's the 6 points Canada needs to win.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Shea shoots a little bit better, Canada could win this game. Kelly Olynyk, elder statesman, I thought was one of the better Canadians. You talked about how he got kept in the ball in clutch time. He was 2 for 8 from the game, 2 for 8 from the floor, 1 for 6 inside the 3-point line, 1 for 2 from 3.
And it's not the fact that the ball went to Kelly Olynyk in the clutch. It's why you going up with 3 men. Why are you going up against 3 defenders?
Yeah, why are you waiting till you're down to go to the cup to then make the mistake, to then go into a bunch of bodies and miss the shot?
It's just not smart. It's not. I know we're being a bunch of old heads with this word, with this term, but it's just terrible shot selection. The only person that I could say kept them and did what they were supposed to do and beyond what they were expected to was Lou Dort. And give Lou Dort credit. He actually tried to do some things on the inside and during the mid range. Something that you think Shea should have done. But you saw a lot of possessions where, and I remember this one possession, down 2, and he goes for a step back 3 with 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Like, what are we doing? And just
ISO ball's taken over, Kajan. ISO ball's taken over, and we'll be the old heads. I'm okay with that. I'll sit here with my tin hat and I'll say Diet Coke, but preferably Coke or Pepsi. I'll sit there and say, back in my day, when Bob Cousy was the point guard for the Boston Celtics, back in my day, I'll be Mad Dog Russo if I have to be, Cajun, because when Lou Dort is your second leading scorer with 17 points off the bench, 55% from the field. He made 43% from 3, which is really good for Lou Dort. Lou Dort is a good 3-point shooter, but 43% from 3 is really good on 7 shots. 5 rebounds for Lou Dort, including 2 offensive. He had 4 fouls as well, because again, he plays tough defense.
Yeah.
But it's a demoralizing loss for me, because now again it makes you have to win the Spain game. Now Spain's a must win. As much as you want to win it regardless, now it's a have to win, because now if you lose, you go home. The first 3 games didn't matter. You're averaging 108 points, and the first 3 games don't matter. Now you're out. Now you're going home.
But see, I see that as a positive because that doesn't matter. Now it's a wake up call. And the good news about this is that it's not an elimination. It doesn't help matters out, but it isn't an elimination game. Now you know what it has to take. Now you know what it has to take, and I hate that it had to take a loss for this to happen. But now Canada knows that this is not how you want. This is not how you're gonna play. You're not gonna cakewalk through this group. This wasn't and I think that's what it seemed like. That's what it seemed like today. Now they know that's not the case. So yeah, it is concern. You're right. It is concerning in the sense that it is a must-win game. At the same time, I don't expect this sort of effort to happen 2 games in a row.
I'll go as far as saying it can't go 2 games in a row.
Because if it does, it's
they're done. They're going home. They might as well book the flight now, Cage. They might as well book the flight now if they're gonna play like that. Might as well book the flight. Without trying to be, a Debbie Downer. If that's the effort you're gonna see on Sunday, might as well book your plane now. Because that's not gonna beat Spain. Jesus, that's not gonna beat Spain. Reigning champions, reigning gold or World Cup champions, pardon me. That effort will not beat Spain. Will not. Not could, not, maybe. No, will not beat Spain. They need to play a lot better offensively.
And you could sort of argue that maybe if you're on an ultra optimist, maybe that might beat Spain based off of how they played against Latvia. But Spain just got humbled. They're not going to play like they did against Latvia. They're going to come out guns, but
everybody in this group cage is going to come out guns blazing because, again, it's win or go home. Everybody's going to. Spain's going to. Latvia's going to. Brazil and Latvia won today. They won today to have to win on Sunday because they play against each other. So they both won today to play each other to see who goes to the quarterfinals. That's what they played for today. Canada,
and they've done their jobs.
And they did exactly that. They aced the assignment. They aced the exam, Cage. They aced it. And now Spain and Canada, who would have thought they already clinched their spots by now, are now looking at the schedule like, oh God, now we got to play against the other guys. Right? And again, I don't know where Canada's going to fit right now with this loss in the standings, if it's going to go to differential or head-to-head, because Latvia beat Spain and Spain beat Brazil, but Brazil beat Canada, but Canada beat Latvia. Everyone's got to win on everybody. So I don't know if it's going to go just screw head-to-head. We're just going to basically do just difference, which I think would go in Canada's favor even with that 5-point loss, because how good the differential was without that. Even with the 4-point loss?
I think that's the case right now.
Which, if that is the case, it's good for Canada.
But even then, it's with every team now with 7 points and with a 3-1 record, that does not matter.
It don't, but it might if they win. Because again, it's talking about matchups. If they win against Spain and they book their spot into the final, or into the quarterfinals, that means if they get first because of differential, that means they'll play second place of Germany or Slovenia, which might be good for Canada because they'll play against either a German team they faced twice already or Slovenia, which I'll be honest is the one I don't want to see if I'm a Canadian, if I was a Canadian player or fan, which I do happen to be. So Slovenia is the team I don't want to see. I do not want to wake up on Sunday morning and see that it's Luka Doncic waiting for Canada. I don't want to see that. I don't have confidence in that. Gage, I don't have confidence in that particular scenario. I don't. But
honestly, after what we just saw, you gotta be whoever's in front of you. Competition's gonna get tougher from here on out. So even if you play Slovenia, I actually would like it if they played Slovenia, because the familiarity that Germany and Canada have with each other, there's a lot more unknowns with Slovenia, and it's win or go home from there on out. So they'd have to
go ahead.
They literally have to. They gotta make They have to. It forces them to game plan. It forces them to game plan, to have a whole new game plan for Slovenia. Excuse me, and not to fall back on their laurels. Say if they played Germany, who they've played twice already.
Well, and I do quickly want to mention this, Cajun. So I'm just looking back at the past results here of the FIBA World Cup. Australia is out. France is out. Argentina is out. And Spain could be, which will mean all 4 of the medal combatants in Spain and Argentina in the gold medal, France and Australia in the bronze medal, will not be in the quarterfinals this year. That's again if Spain does not get one up on Canada. So this has been an unpredictable tournament, to say the least, Cajun.
And I don't think Argentina made the qualified for the FIBA World Cup in the first place.
And they were silver medalists back in 2019 in China. And we saw what happened to France in this tournament. Obviously, they were out probably with their best player, Victor Wembanyama. But Wembanyama would have been on the 2019 team anyway. Because he would have been, in 2019, Jesus, he would have been like, what, 16, 15? Are they even Googling how old he is? Like, he would have been a child. Yeah, in 2019.
I think it would have been 14.
Yeah, he would have been literally a child. He was not on that team that won the bronze medal back in 2019, and they're not even here. Australia, who lost the bronze medal game, are not even here in the second stage of the World Cup. So this could be a completely different top four at the 2023 FIBA World Cup down there in Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines. But the groups to pay attention to, Kajan, going into Sunday, the groups that you really got to watch, obviously Group L with Latvia, Spain, Canada, and Brazil, with winner goes through in Group L. And then the other group is Group I, the other division with Serbia, Dominican Republic, Italy, and Puerto Rico, all at 3-1, all playing their way into the quarterfinals. It's a winner takes all in those games. But in fairness to Group J and Group K, is USA versus Lithuania and Germany versus Slovenia, both at the later starts. US versus Lithuania at 8:40, Canada game at 9:30, and the Slovenia versus Germany game is at 7:10 our time here in Ontario. So
Yeah.
that Germany-Slovenia game will directly impact the Group L, which is where Canada is, who will the top two teams in Group L will play the top two teams in Group K. So that's a very big game for the Canadians in Group L. But it'll be a great game regardless between Slovenia and Germany, as well as USA and Lithuania. As Lithuania before this, or even after their 4 games, are averaging 101 points per game. So these two teams absolutely love to score. Neither team likes to play defense, Cajun, as both teams are averaging. Lithuania averages 93 points against. Or, pardon me, I was looking at plus minus. So Lithuania is averaging 93 points per game. The USA 100.8 points per game. Americans are allowing 72 points against. Lithuania 67.8. So that should be a really good game between Lithuania and the United States. Want to mention Lithuania came fourth back in 2014. So they were in the bronze medal game, but they did not come out on the winning end. That was 2 tournaments ago, back in 2014. But some really big games happening on Sunday. Really big games.
Big games.
And Cajun, we're gonna end it with this, I think, before we go. Spain versus Canada, Sunday, September 3rd. Bright and early, 9:30 sharp. We bring it to you live on YouTube. That'll be official. For sure on YouTube, because I'll have everything set up. For sure this time. What do you think of that game for Canada right now, after this loss?
It's now or never.
Prediction. If you want to give us a prediction, I'd appreciate it, but I don't expect it.
Well, it's now or never. And both teams are going to come out guns blazing because both teams are not happy with how things turned out today.
You definitely hope not, for sure.
I think what's going to be the biggest factor of this game is the prowess of Willie Hernan Gomez. Because Canada, the way Canada's team is constructed, they could struggle against post players on the inside. And Willie Hernan Gomez is that person for Spain. As I'm looking through Spain's roster, roster right now. Yeah. Rudy Fernandez, Victor Claver. They got some good guys there. For one, you got to win the rebounding battle. 2, establish a presence on the inside attacking the rim for your 3-point shooting to open up. They do that, Canada's got a good shot, and I think what I said before, not having Ricky Rubio on that team for Spain is going to hurt them. And I think this is going to be a close game. I think Canada wins by I'm gonna say 7.
Well, and I do also want to mention here, Kajan, before we go, that Spain is coached by Sergio Scariolo, who is up for the Raptors job with Jordi Fernandez. Didn't get it because he was seen as the win now option, which the Raptors did not go with, obviously. They went with Darko Rajakovic.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they got a good coach. They're a well-coached team. So they're not going to come in and be blown away, I don't think, by Canada. Even if Canada has a good start. Like, they're a team you have to be dialed in 100%. Like Latvia was. They down big going into the fourth quarter, have a massive fourth quarter and win the game. Right? You got to be on them. Because, obviously they're going to make mistakes. Every team makes mistakes. You got to capitalize on them. Because this Spain team is going to be well coached by Scariolo. They've been well coached by Sergio Scariolo. He wouldn't be up for NBA jobs if he wasn't. Right? So it's a big game for Canada. It's the biggest game, if you will, for Canada. And again, it's, as you said, put up or shut up. Because if you don't come out on the right end of this Spain game, then this whole tournament was basically for nothing. But Canada on a positive. You say Canada wins by 7 against Spain. They did beat Spain in the pre-tournament games. We keep talking about it. I think Canada comes out and says we've had enough. We're going to drop 100 on Spain, and we're going to win big. I don't know how big, but I'd say 15 plus. I'd say even 20 plus. I think Canada blows them out of the water on Sunday.
Wow, you're more positive than me.
I don't know positive, Cage. I think Canada's going to come out for blood. I think Shea's going to come out for blood. I think Dort's going to keep shooting well. I think Dillion Brooks is going to come for blood. I think Kelly Olynyk's going to come out and show his veteran leadership. I think Canada is going to come out and they're going to blow them out of the water because I think the star power's on Canada's side. And I think this young team doesn't like to lose. I'm not saying Spain likes to lose either. They're not used to losing. They're reigning champions right now. But I think Canada sees that too as a chip. They're reigning champions. We got to take it from them. We already took it from them in the preliminaries. Let's take it from them on the court. So I think Canada comes into that game smelling blood in the water from the moment the game starts. And I think they win by, I think they drop over 100 points, and I think they win by plus 15, if not plus 20, but I would say plus 20. So I'm going to say it's a 108-88 win for the Canadians. That's my guess.
Wow. If you're saying something, you're being an optimist when you're saying something positive about Dylan Brooks, and I know how you feel about that, man. Holy.
Maybe I cringe myself a little bit, okay? Don't bring it up, okay? My body's still trying to uncoil itself, okay? Still trying to uncoil itself from saying that. But anyway, I think the Canadians get up to their right now average after 3 games before this Brazil loss. I think they hit the 108 mark and they win 108-88 over Spain. That's my prediction.
Well, okay then.
And any analysis before we go, Kajan? Any analysis before we go?
Bad basketball today, especially on the offensive end. Didn't get enough stops down the stretch. Too much one-on-one basketball. What they do have to do is get to the free throw line. Don't be enamored by the whistle. Just keep on attacking the rim. Go inside, outside. And just move the ball. Because what worked so well for Canada during group play was that they moved the ball. And today, the ball just stuck. That can't happen against Spain. They do all that. They move the ball. They play inside, outside. They play good defense. And they finish off the defensive possession with a rebound, get to the line. A 20-point win will definitely happen if that happens.
So you have cautious optimism. I've got true optimism, which is definitely not in my character, but We'll take it. But again,
It's usually the other way around. This is weird.
almost always the other way around, Cajun. But I'm a gambler. I love some Texas Hold'em poker. I am placing all my chips on the table, Cajun. I'm going all in. I'm saying Canada smells blood in the water from the moment tip-off happens, and Canada blows them out of the water. The game was almost never close. Maybe at the end of the first quarter, the game's a little close. By the end of the first half, Cage, Canada's got a lead, and it only gets extended from there. That's my prediction.
You sound like me right now.
That's my prediction.
What is going on? You sound like me.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Man. If you don't know that, that's from Russell. If you don't know that quote, that's from Russell Westbrook. Search that up. Russell Westbrook tripping.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Oh man. But
anyway,
honestly, I like the optimism. I love the optimism, and we both agree that I think Canada should take care of business. But I think the only thing that's like kind of like worries me is that Spain's also in the same boat. That they can't afford to play like how they did against Latvia. But Canada does have the star power.
Canada does have the star power.
Spain doesn't. And Spain, and I think this is the most important thing, does not have a playmaker, doesn't have like their best playmaker, Ricky Rubio, down the stretch if the game does get close. I think that's what might hurt Spain more if this game does get close. So I think that favors Canada in that sense. Now, I hope it is a blowout. But as what we saw today, like anything's possible.
Okay, so now you sound like KG, Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible.
Oh, I could say it a whole another different way, but not for this stream. Not for this stream.
Yeah, that's another video.
I want to pull a J.R. Smith, but no. Starts with an H too, but but yeah, like on a positive note, though, this has been a great World Cup.
Definitely, that's been a great World Cup. I would even say for Canada until today.
Yeah, and maybe this effort will be flushed down the drain. Maybe this effort against Brazil will be flushed down the drain if they take care of business against Spain. And you're expecting that they would. I'm expecting that they do take care of business against Spain. I think it's just going to be a little closer than people think.
Well, and I guess on the other side of the camp, I think it's going to be an absolute blowout for Canada. I think they smell blood from the moment the game starts, and they're able to dominate because they didn't dominate today, and they know they got to win that game.
Oh, they're going to be pissed.
And Brazil or Spain probably just gets overwhelmed by the skill and talent of Team Canada.
One thing's for sure, Canada is going to come out guns blazing. They're going to be pissed. That's for sure.
But I can't wait to. Go ahead.
I cannot wait to see. I cannot wait to see what unfolds Sunday.
Sunday cannot come fast enough. But that'll be it here for us from the special Polar Opposites episode. I'll call it that. It's been added to the bonus sector of Polar Opposites. But we hopefully will bring you Sunday's game. Cage and I will have to talk about that off screen, as I do have another commitment to make on Sunday. So I'm not sure I can bring you the whole game, but I think the first half should be manageable live on YouTube. And then if Cage wants to do the second half by himself, I will absolutely leave it in his discretion. But for Cajun Theru, Thanny Castle, I'm Spencer Byers. Thank you so much for taking us in here today. We should be back on Sunday to bring you Spain versus Canada, the biggest game of the World Cup for Canada, to see if they can make themselves to the quarters or if they're coming back to Canada with their tail between their legs. But even if we don't see you Sunday, we will be back here we will be back here about same time next week, about Wednesday or Thursday, for Polar Opposites, episode number 11, here on The Outrage.